Good evening and welcome to the briefing room. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, India's education system is the backbone of millions of aspirations. Every year, there are crores of students who place their faith in the examinations, institutions, and a merit-based system that is meant to reward hard work and shape futures. But in recent weeks, that faith has been repeatedly shaken. From the NEET paper leak controversy to the CBSE Class 12 on-screen marking fiasco and questions surrounding CUET UG, one controversy has followed another. Together, they paint a troubling picture and raise a fundamental question. When systems fail and students suffer, who is held accountable? What was projected as a digital transformation in evaluation has now snowballed into a major embarrassment for the CBSE. Even today, thousands of Class 12 students remain in limbo, waiting for the board's verification and re-evaluation portal to go live. The portal was expected to be operational today after an earlier postponement, but the wait continues. The Coempt website, the organization that was responsible for digitizing Class 12 board answer sheets, also remains down. CBSE had justified the delay by saying that it wanted a glitch-free process. Yet, with every passing hour, questions are mounting. For students whose college admissions, counseling schedules, and future plans hinge on the revised marks, this is not merely a technical snag. It's a crisis of confidence in a system that they depend on. Now, what really are we talking about? Now, in 2025, the CBSE had rolled out its ambitious on-screen marking system, promising a faster and more efficient evaluation process. Tenders for the digitization of Class 12 board answer sheets were then floated between February and August. And in December 2025, the digitization contract was awarded to Coempt Edutech, formerly known as Globarina Technologies. But serious flaws have emerged in the scanning process, and the students continue to raise questions over the handling of answer scripts. Attention is now turning to the tender itself. Students are now questioning the very integrity of the digitization process itself, asking why were the original technical specifications altered? Why was the scanning resolution reportedly reduced from 300 dpi to 200 dpi? If accuracy was paramount, why were robotic scanners not deployed? What kind of scanning system was ultimately used? And perhaps more importantly, how did answer sheet scans end up using staplers and other extraneous objects in them? Now, these are not merely technical queries. For thousands of students whose futures depend on a fair evaluation process, these are questions that strike at the very heart of transparency and accountability. Now, these are questions coming in from the students, and the spotlight now is firmly on Coempt Edutech. This is the company which is at the center of the CBSE re-evaluation controversy. It's the same firm that secured the contract to digitize Class 12 board answer sheets for the on-screen marking process, allegedly via rigged criteria. Its CEO is VSN Raju, who was reportedly untraceable for several days. It's also linked to a familiar name, Globarina Technologies. Why does this matter? Because Globarina was the same company that handled the 2019 Telangana Class 10 board exams, where a system flaw led to nearly 3.8 lakh students being declared failed. Now, following that massive controversy, Globarina was rebranded as Coempt Edutech. What was the CBSE tender process, and was it altered to favor a particular bidder? That's the explosive question emerging from Times Now's investigation into the board's controversial digitization contract. Take a look at these particular contracts. The terms in August were the blacklisting provision that was included. In the September corrigendum, the blacklisting clause had then been deleted. There's also another aspect of this. The security deposit forfeiture was very much part of the terms in August. However, in the September corrigendum, this was removed in at least 2 instances that are mentioned here. The term also included contract termination. And as far as September corrigendum is concerned, the show cause notice was retained. The issue of contract termination not really finding mention there. Blacklisting of the bidder was a term in August. However, in September, it was changed to the PBG forfeiture, which was retained in this particular provision as well. So these are some of the things that were changed between August to September. However, in our pursuit of answers and accountability, Times Now traveled to Coempt Edutech's headquarters in Hyderabad. We sought to confront the company over the growing controversy and asked a very simple question. Where is the CEO, DS and Raju? What followed was an exclusive exchange that raises more questions than it answers. Take a look at this Times Now exclusive.
The point of contact is VNS Raju. Presently is in Delhi. For the same issue, he is handling some newspapers of came. So we have taken the visiting card. In 3 days he will get back here. So if I give them, we can arrange that meeting for them. No, just no. I'm not the correct person because I just do the job here. I will get back to you. And
where is he in Delhi right now? My Delhi team is also trying to track him.
Correctly, I don't know what. He's in Delhi, seeing some news reporter and the CBSE. And then they have discussions.
Okay.
But for the end, he's in Delhi.
Where is your office in Delhi?
No, sir. Only head
Is there anyone here who is able to...
No correct point. So if you ask anyone also, they will give the same answer.
But why is all this important, and what is the impact of these errors on students? Because it's not just affecting a few, but lakhs of students, to say the least. Let me give you the numbers that we're talking about to put this in perspective. What are the numbers of the total students who appeared? They are at 17.6 lakh numbers of the students who have appeared. What about the entire re-evaluation process? Now, this re-evaluation is very significant because that's the website that we're talking about in terms of what is required and the total numbers that have been sought. That is a whopping 4 lakh plus. Just think about it. 17 lakhs have taken the exam and 4 lakh plus students are seeking this re-evaluation. So therefore, nearly 1 out of 5, that is a number, 1 out of 5 students is actually seeking the re-evaluation. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very significant number, raising questions about what's happening. There are those who've complained about numbers being less than what they expected, and many of them complaining about blurred scans even as far as these particular results are concerned. Now, what are top sources telling Times Now? They are indicating that CBSE could take penal action against Coempt Edutech over these complaints. Here's what we know at the moment. Specifically, that CBSE could possibly take financial penalty or action against Coempt. Those are the aspects that is being considered at this point of time. Will there be financial penalty is a question number one. The second aspect is whether this 1 lakh rupees or the 15-minute delay in the corrective action. What really is the reason for the delay? That's another question. Third, 1 lakh rupees in terms of delay in the root cause analysis. That is also a very, very important aspect. It's 1 lakh rupees per hour, I beg your pardon. That could be the delay in root cause analysis. The fourth scoop, 50,000 rupees a day if students don't receive their answer scripts. That's another aspect that they're looking at. The fifth, 50,000 rupees a day for delay in resolving technical issues. Scoop number 6, 25,000 rupees a delay in analysis reports submission as well. Now, this is all that CBI is currently proposing. Why has it not happened? Is still a relevant question. And how quickly can they provide this relief to students? Because CBI's digital transition has clearly not gone as expected. And the opposition is now questioning the center. Rahul Gandhi has launched a sharp attack over the answer sheet scanning controversy, calling the entire process a fraud. Rahul Gandhi alleges that a mandatory scan resolution requirement of 300 DPI was reduced to 200 DPI and therefore questioned the changes made to the tender specifications. Based on Sarthak's expose, Sarthak of course being the student who brought all of this out, he has further claimed that answer sheets were scanned using phones. In fact, he met some students, including Sarthak and Vedant, and put out this excerpt. This is the part where these students were called anti-nationals by online trolls for exposing the system.
Soros aa gaya isme beech mein. Pakistan, Soros,
Yes.
everybody has come.
They started calling us anti-national and Pakistani.
17 साल के deep state agents. भैया दिखाओ टेररिस्ट के चेहरे दिखाओ जरा.
जब मैं शीट देखता हूँ फिजिक्स की, उसका मेरा एग्जाम बहुत अच्छा गया था, उसमें मेरे अच्छे नंबर नहीं आए, तो उसके पास हमारे पास ऑप्शन था कि अगर आपको अपने नंबर कम आते हैं तो आप करते हैं बुलाए फोटो कॉपी के लिए. लेकिन उसका जब मैं खोलता हूँ मेरी फोटो कॉपी, यहाँ मेरी हैंड राइटिंग थी. लेकिन अब जैसे मैं क्वेश्चन करता हूँ, मैं जाता हूँ नीचे एक बार, खोलता हूँ फोटो कॉपी अपनी, तो यहाँ से मेरी किसी और की हैंड राइटिंग होती है. तो इसके बाद मैंने देखा कि ये मेरी शीट नहीं है, तो अपना मैं इशू लेके आया एक्स पर. होगो का सपोर्ट आया, कि ये तो एकदम हटके केस हो रहा है।
बट जब इस पे पब्लिक अप्रूव इतना बढ़ने लगा तो हमें शांत कराने के लिए, बिकॉज दे थॉट दैट वी आर सम डीप स्टेट agents that are trying to create unrest in India.
17 साल के डीप स्टेट एजेंट्स। डीप स्टेट क्या होता है भाई? सोरोस आ गया इसमें बीच में। पाकिस्तान, सोरोस, everybody has come.
They started calling us anti-national and Pakistani. Then after that,
that's crazy.
That is very crazy.
You know,
that is not right.
And you're students. I mean, you've got nothing to do with anything. You're asking for your answer sheet. That's all. Now suddenly you become anti-nationals. You have to accept the problem if you want to solve the problem.
Right.
You're just refusing to accept that the problem, you're blaming the poor kids and saying, you know, you're deep state, you're spies or terrorists.
Then we are trying to create unrest in India.
It was shocking to see the Prime Minister yesterday. And for the first time, and I'm being very honest, actually for the second time, I heard Man Ki Baat, hoping against all hopes that the Prime Minister will talk about CBSE, will talk about NEET, will talk about the destruction of the future of our youth, discuss the varieties of mangoes. And you then start wondering, does the country deserve this man as the Prime Minister? The man who is teaching us how to have water in summers? Is this what the Prime Minister of India is supposed to do in the midst of a crisis that our younger generation is facing?
देखिए, पूरा का पूरा सिस्टम कोलैप्स कर रहा है। छात्रों के भविष्यों के साथ खिलवाड़ हो रहा है और छात्र मानसिक तनाव झेल रहे हैं। तो देश का जो नौजवान है, देश का जो भविष्य है, उस भविष्य के साथ आप खिलवाड़ कर रहे हैं।
जिस देश में वहाँ के युवाओं के, किशोरों के भविष्य की कोई चिंता नहीं है, उस देश का अपना भविष्य भी अंधकारमय दिखता है।
कि ऐसा कैसे हो गया जब हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री खुद इस पर निगरानी रखे हुए थे, तो ना अभी तक हमारे एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर धर्मेंद्र प्रधान का इस्तीफा लिया गया और तो और जहां पर इतने कॉन्फिडेंशियल डॉक्यूमेंट एजुकेशन विभाग से स्टोर्ड थे, वहां आग लग जाती है। दिस इज हाईली कंडेमनेबल एंड नीड्स वेरी इन डेप्थ इन्वेस्टिगेशन।
See, must not take Rahul Gandhi ji seriously, because seriousness and Rahul Gandhi is two absolutely antagonistic words. He doesn't know the full form of CBSE. Please go and ask him. He doesn't know how many languages CBSE conducts the exam, in how many countries CBSE conducts the exam, in how many countries CBSE runs the school. He doesn't know anything about CBSE. His only motive is to defame the Prime Minister and defame the government.
कैसे कोई 1,30,00,000 आंसर शीट्स को मोबाइल फोन के द्वारा स्कैन कर सकता है? परंतु राहुल गांधी हैं, वे बिना रिसर्च के, बिना जानकारी के कुछ भी बयानबाजी करते हैं और जानबूझकर लोगों को या बच्चों को उकसाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
Let me quickly open this up and take it across to our guest. Joining us is Pradeep Bhandari, who's the national spokesperson of the BJP. Also with us is Advocate Kapil Madan, political analyst. Let me start with you first. Pradeep Bhandari, the number of questions are mounting. Were the tender conditions diluted to prevent blacklisting, to reduce the penalties on companies such as Coempt, which anyway have a very poor track record? And what's worse, leave aside, BJP, Congress and all the political debate, is the fact that students are waiting for the revaluation. Today, that site is not ready. How are the students going to plan for the higher education?
Well, Madhav, I'll respond to you with the intent of not politicizing it or not answering the politics of it, but speaking on the questions which you have just asked. Fact number one, has the government not acknowledged what has happened? The government has acknowledged what has happened. Has the government not ordered an investigation into exactly what you were mentioning, particularly with respect to CBSE? The government has ordered an investigation and internal inquiry. Has the matter not gone to the Supreme Court? The matter has gone to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has given the government complete free hand till June 21st. And the essence of the entire pleas, Kapil is an advocate, and the essence of entire pleas in the Supreme Court was A, asking for the NTA to be disbanded, B, asking for a resignation, and 3, asking for some sort of an alternate arrangement on computer adaptive test. The Supreme Court not once but twice has said that all of this can wait later. What is important is on June 21st, all of us have to support the government for an entire examination without any leak. And the government is transparent about it. This is why there is a committee which is being formed, which includes the IIT Madras, which includes DIC and another IIT, which is looking into how there was certain ethical hacking which took place. In fact, your channel was a channel which had an ethical hacker, and the ethical hacker has also been contacted by the CBSE in order to understand where it went wrong. So all of us are working here to solve the problem. Now I'll come to the moot point. This is for the first time there is an acknowledgement of the problem, because before 2014 there was a regular affair of paper leak on the part of tender Madhav. We have ordered an inquiry of high who gave the tender to this respective company, because this is the company which has got tenders in Telangana and Karnataka. I am not justifying it. So our intent is pure, our heart is on the right place, and we are fixing accountability wherever the CBI investigation will point.
The point that they worked with the Telangana Congress government, etc., is all very well known. But the question of previous governments, etc., is very well known. The only question is, when the company has a tainted past, what was the necessity to engage the same company? Surely there are other competent companies also in all of India. In 140 crore people, I'm sure you could have found others. India is an IT superpower.
No, it's I absolutely agreed, Madhav, and this is why we've ordered an investigation to find out who in the CBSE or who in the department was behind giving that tender. And if, as you are pointing out, because your channel is one of the channels which is leading investigation into it, we are trying to find out that if there are norms which are flouted, who is the official who is responsible for flouting the norm, and we will fix the accountability, whatever that accountability is, howsoever of the accountability is. We're not denying any of it, and we've acknowledged it in the court of law also.
Kapil Madan, respond to that. We are not denying any accountability. We have set up committees to look into all the lapses, and due process will be followed. Accountability will be fixed. Your response to what Pradeep just said.
So let me begin by saying what Pradeep, my good friend, has said is half facts and full fiction, and there's a reason why I say so. It's not that you can come on the channel and you say that, look, we take accountability, etc. What accountability? What justification Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan has to even continue? What I recall, and I am happy to be corrected here, the last time also NTA leak happened. Why is the man still continuing despite the fact that you have these kind of successive failures? That's my point number one. Point number two is, Pradeep is trying to say, though, look, before 2014 also these things used to happen. I will just ask one question here. How many times in the parliament you have discussed the issue of paper leaks since 2014? Give me the number, date and time, and I'm happy to be corrected. If he can give me the data and the numbers. Paper leak was being discussed in the parliament, and the measures reform announced by the government to tackle this problem. My point number three is, now there is an grave situation here where you are trying to incentivize incompetence. There is another issue. Now what has happened is, now CBI has given a rate list. If you want a revaluation, etc., there is, for scanning there is a charge, for everything there is a charge, etc. But tell me one thing, Madhav, I can understand that if there is no fee, then you will have numerous applications. But tell me one thing, it does not sound to logic that if someone's papers are indeed found to be incorrectly evaluated by the concerned board, he should be refunded the fee.
Okay.
Does it?
Why should they not be refunded the fee? Okay, I understood your question. I'm asking that question to Pradeep. Why should they? Got your question, Kapil. 1 second. Pradeep, why should they not be refunded the fee is one question. I will also ask an additional question. Why should the students, not have, or the government not push forward the entire admission process for higher education, saying that those who go through the reevaluation process, because we don't know if there will be future delays in this as well, the entire admission process for colleges across the country, both public and private, the deadline will be extended, or the window will be extended. Pradeep.
Well, I'll answer both of them. Just at the outset, my dear friend Kapil asked that what has the government done particularly on leak. There's a Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Act 2024, which is the first act passed in post-independent India, which is an anti-paper leak law, which includes fine up to 1 crore and imprisonment up to 5 years, and which declares paper leak as a cognizable offence. This has happened for the first time in the country. So the intent of the government has always been to curb paper leak. Now I'll come to two specific questions which you and Kapil have asked. On the part of reimbursement, I believe that is a legitimate question, and I'll pass it on to the CBSE to look onto it. On the second part, Madhav, you were speaking about the deadline. I believe we are very, very confident that more the time you take forward to increase the date or delay the date, more will be the stress that the students will face. We are confident that on June 21st, we are using all possible means, all possible resources on our wherewithal, including the suggestions from the students, and we will have a zero leak 21st June. That is our only target. And
zero leak paper revaluation that will be done, of course, and all these things are going to be held in an absolutely foolproof manner. Your response to that, Kapil?
Now, again, Madhav, once you have a situation like this, the first thing is that it's not that you are saying on the television you take accountability. You will have to actually demonstrate that you've taken responsibility. Why is the concerned education minister continuing? What legal and moral rights does he has to continue? And more importantly, why is the BJP so compelled to continue this? If my good friend Pradeep, he's an honest person, if he says on the channel, yes, we are taking the accountability, yes, there are problems, then you must also explain to the viewers what is the compulsion. Why is that Mr. BJP is so afraid of seeking resignation of Mr. Pradhan? What stops them?
Pradeep.
Well, Kapil, I'll answer your question. You are a very learned advocate, and you recall that on the first day when this matter went to the Supreme Court and there was a learned Solicitor General who was also appearing, and the essence of what you were saying was not just limited to this. It was that the NTA should be disbanded. What did the Honorable Court said? All of these questions can wait later for July 27. The only thing which matters right now is where there are only 18, 19 days left for June 21st. And on June 21st, everybody should support the government in order to ensure that there is no leak and the students face no additional stress. Political bickering, political tutu meme can happen later. All of you, today, I also appeal to you, my dear friend, that if there are some legitimate things, the Times Now had broken 3 students. One of them were ethical hackers who provided that how the platform could be made better, because they also, they themselves are ethical hackers, could get into the platform. The CBSE in fact attempted and reached to one of these students. So we are open to it. As I said, if you as Congress have certain suggestions,
well, is that enough?
Do it.
Should there have been better testing?
I can tell
should there have been better preparation? Will always remain a question, because if it was one lapse, then that's one thing. But there are multiple lapses that have been reported now. Even the revaluation portal not ready yet, and that raises serious questions about what really is going on and what corrective action will be taken, because that action has to be taken at the earliest. It's the future of India. It is the young students that we're talking about at the end of the day. Kapil Madan as well as Pradeep Bhandari, I'd like to thank both of you for joining us this evening.